Hello, good morning. I am Wale. Today is 5th of March 2023. And this is exactly 9 a.m. So we continue with this powerful series, Terms I have seen Jesus Christ in Nigeria. And if you are following if, like I said, you should be in the spirit before you are able to see this Jesus Christ, because this Jesus Christ is the most accurate, because Jesus Christ himself said this is how he will appear. And where is this Jesus Christ? This Jesus Christ is your neighbor. This Jesus Christ is the poorest. This Jesus Christ is almost everybody, because Nigerian is so poor. Nigerian is so poor. So this Jesus Christ is almost everybody in Nigeria. In fact, do you know what? Apart from maybe 5% of the entire population of Nigeria, the rest people are poor. A banker need help. A banker is still calling people in UK, US for help. A medical doctors, in fact, recently, almost all the medical doctors almost flee away to Saudi Arabia, to poor place. A lawyer, in fact, lawyer, even me right now, if I know lawyer that is begging me money. So the engineer, even when, except maybe you are working in oil company, but how many people can Nigerian oil company employ in Port Harcourt or Oloibiri? So if these richest people are still begging, disturbing people in UK, US, China, all this place, that means that something is absolutely very, very wrong in Nigeria. Poor people are too much. And listen, whenever you see poor people, you see God. So that is from where we got this message, that I have seen God in Nigeria. I have seen God clearly in Nigeria. There's a word that says where there is problem, there is money. Wherever there's problem, there's money. So that is why we are just going to go today and explain 2 advantages of seeing God. Last week, we clearly show you the pictures of God. Last week was introduction. We show you the pictures of God. We show you those in prison. You see, I'm saying God and Jesus Christ. I'm using them interchangeably. Why am I using them interchangeably? Jesus Christ said, if you have seen the poor, you have seen me. Philip asks in the book of, Jesus Christ said, if you have seen the poor, you have seen me. Matthew chapter 25 from verse 32 downward. Because you help the poor, you give the poor food, you have given it to me. So if you have seen somebody hungry, if you see people in prison, if you see somebody sick, if you see a stranger that need help, you have seen God. You have seen Jesus Christ, right? It's not God. But Philip in the book of Matthew chapter 14 asks Jesus Christ, show us the Father. Thanks to that powerful question, Philip asks Jesus Christ, show us the Father. Jesus Christ said, I am in your midst. If you have seen me, you have seen the Father. Anybody who have seen me, he have seen the Father. So let's take the equation. Equation 1. Let's see the 2 equations. Equation 1 is that if you see the poor, you've seen Jesus Christ. Equation 2 is that if you've seen Jesus Christ, you've seen God. So we can marry equation 2 and equation 1. That if you've seen the poor, you've seen God. That's why you see me using the poor and Jesus Christ interchangeably when you see the poor. So we want to go ahead and see, if you help God, if you help Jesus Christ, if you help it, which is related to if you help the poor, what is your benefit? What will you benefit? And there are 2 benefits. Number 1, you will have the wisdom of God. Number 2, answering of prayer. Those are the 2 benefits we want to see today. So, ladies and gentlemen, you see, before we go into the benefit, I'd like us to know 2 things, that many Nigerian churches are not helping God at all. Even little, even 1%, they are not helping God, because they are taking everything to the pastor for the pastor to buy another private jet and be able to preach the word very well and go to UK, go to Dubai to preach the word. They don't go to Afghanistan, they don't go to where there is no Jesus Christ already. They go to where there is enjoyment to preach the word. UK, Canada, US, Dubai. Those are places that they preach the word of God, where they will see more money. But that is not the focus this morning. The focus today is that the poor Rainbow sackcloth to toe. The poor is Jesus Christ. Ami fon den kan mi momi yebede. Minyung hi yake ya min twanse me. O fan mi daga ke nyong kwoi kwa nyong to robon. If you've seen the poor, you've seen Jesus Christ, your neighbor. So if everyone knows everybody in Nigeria, and apart from maybe, in fact, the people that are not poor, you cannot even see them in Nigeria because the senior, the only the big pastor, even his assistant that has been following since 40 years, 50 years, 20 years, is still among the poorest. His assist, in fact, I don't even let us talk about the church issue self, because the church, even the senior pastor self is still doing everything to collect everything, and that is poverty mentality. She's telling people that if you don't pay tithe, you will go to hell. She's telling people that if you don't pay tithe, everything will spoil in your hand, forgetting that the US, the UK, this thing, even few people don't. The richest people in the world, just all lies, deception, everything to collect everything, and they are successfully collecting everything. Nigerian citizens are the poorest in the world, while the pastors are the richest in the world. But that is not where. So for you to even see, you can never even see rich people self. All the people you see, they are poor people. They are Jesus Christ, left, right, center, because senator is being guided so that nobody will see him, right? The president, Tinubu, you cannot see Tinubu easily these days. So the people that you can see, they are the poorest people. So left, right, center. So we now are now ignoring the image of God, the likeness of God, Jesus Christ himself. So, ladies and gentlemen, I therefore beseech you and I to start to see Jesus Christ, to start to see these poor people, and just you smiling. How can you help this Jesus Christ that we are talking? Oh, okay, who are the Jesus Christ? Number one, the almajiris, the poor children, the motherless home, the distant home, the poor people who cannot see food and eat. Number two, prisoners, the prisoners. Number three, people who cannot go to hospital when they are sick. Left, right, center, they are everywhere sick. Some people are giving birth at home because they don't have money to go to hospital. Because they don't, and Jesus Christ said, I was in hospital and he did not visit me. And any visitation of God is to help. Jesus Christ said, Joseph said, my God will surely, I die, but my God will surely visit you and take you out of the land of captivity. So any visitation of Jesus Christ is to take the person out of the land of captivity. So he said, I was in prison and you did not visit me. So Jesus Christ are in prison. Another category of Jesus Christ, the poorest people of the poor, is pensioners. I show you the picture of pensioner looking like Somalia hunger strike, looking like people looking like dead body pensioners in Nigeria sitting down to collect pension. In fact, one governor called them waste product. One governor of Nigeria called them waste product. Governor of Osun State, the former governor of Osun State, he said they are waste product, they are non-essential people. So we should pay the worker, we should pay the real people working. So in is it Delta, be Ebonyi, all those things, Ebonyi, TV, all those TV people, they are paying somebody who is supposed to collect 120,000, they are paying them like 2,000 naira, 1.5. Those are what they pay pensioners. Principal of secondary school, they are paying them 2,000 naira, 3,000 naira. And those, so they, in fact, the payment process to even pay Okada to the place to go and collect money that they pay pensioner. So recently, a woman that was principal of secondary school that I know so much, so caring, anytime that you go to this woman, he want to give you food, he want to help you. This woman died because there was a cut in her leg when she was looking for firewood to cook. You know, her children have left her, so she is the one who go about looking for firewood. A secondary school principal now have a cut trying to look for firewood, and because there is no way to cure the leg, no money to take care of the leg normally, for nurse to come and see because she's already old. She did 70 years birthday, I think 4-5 years, and the woman died with the wound. Because of the wound, the wound became rotten and there was no maintenance, and the woman died with the wound. The woman died with the wound. Ladies and gentlemen, these are the real Jesus Christ. Pensioners. So other people who really need Jesus Christ are some youth really need Jesus Christ, like graduates. If you have what to do to assist them, assist. But then how can you now assist them? Just smiling, just standing in the gap, just giving them information like is it last month I dish out some free some what did this thing called, this thing that you will get money but you will not pay back, grants, some grants, Tony Elumelu, all this Etisalat grants, Wale Adenuga scholarship. I went to search all this thing and release it to the public. That is one way you can help God. Apart from Oyekon Foundation that we are going about doing wonders, thanks to Bolaji Oyekon, who is really doing wonders, supporting me, supporting the foundation, supporting our team, supporting all of us. Averagely, in a month, we spend close to 40,000 naira in our foundation. That is ordinary month, let alone the month with project. Some of the project we spend 2-3 million naira. Some of the projects that have been executed. And so if you refer to my previous video, I was calling Tinubu that our foundation is well tested and trusted. We have reliability, we have sustainability, we have dependability, we have project execution accurately. At least up to 90% of projects are executed when we are given the money. So when we have the money, so I was telling Tinubu that what is our role in helping poor people? What is our whole role in helping poor people? I was telling President Tinubu that will be inaugurated as the president. So I was telling him that don't let your government runs like the way former government has been running, feudalism, where only few people. Feudalism means a system of government where few people are ruling, the rest are begging, please help me, oh, please help me. But let it be more democratic. Let the system be more democratic for we to reduce this poverty, for we to tackle this poverty, this super high poverty, this abject poverty, this abysmal poverty in Nigeria. Your President Tinubu, try to make your system democratic, where you listen to the poor, the least. But then that is not the most important. The most important is that what can an average citizen in Nigeria do to contribute to your mandate of eradicating poverty that you were telling us? Because we must start to see God. And this is just the first reason why I will go to China and mention what make China to develop. You know, we just have a new president. So the my Sunday teaching should be cycling around addressing the new president. God will let him hear and Nigeria will develop. So we must actually see what can an individual do to fulfill Mr. Tinubu mandates. What can organization, especially NGOs, what are their contributing factor? You know, our NGO, we have people who have practical proof in USA, China, Canada, UK, and Germany, those major places. Even in Japan, we have people who have major proof formula that if they allow them in Nigeria, they will beat naira to $1 to $1, naira to one naira to $1. We have people with practical evidence, people doing their PhD that has come out with evidential research that if they have the opportunity of having power, of penetrating into the government of Nigeria, they will definitely beat the necessity in Nigerian naira, so that it will become, now Nigerian naira is 780 naira to $1. That is why price of everything is increasing. One bag of rice that was 12,000 is 13,000. Today, one bag of rice, if you don't have 38,000, 40,000 naira, you cannot buy just within 2-3 years. Before you go and price something, before you go back, we are really ignoring Jesus Christ. So, governor, if you really want to help Jesus Christ in your community, so approach the issue with more democratic. What will graduate do? You see, I thank President Muhammadu Buhari for making Empower. But me, I will not make Empower. If I am there, as the governor or the president. I will not do empower. What I will do is, if you have a project to execute, if you have a business, let's pump in money and then you pay back. I will not just carry graduates that are jobless, keep them and be paying them money and they are doing nothing. No, if you have a graduate that is jobless, bring them and we'll pump money into them. And if you have a graduate that have project like a mechanic that is trying to invent solar powered Marua tricycle, a mechanic is trying to do that. These are Jesus Christ. These are people who really need them. Some people are trying to invent helicopter in Nigeria. Some people are trying to, people in our foundation, no Yecom Foundation, people in China, people in fact, somebody, 2-3 people are in India that say they have formula to make Nigeria great. So President Tinubu, in your tenure, make it to be more democratic, where not only few people, only you and the senator sit in National House of Assembly or somewhere, and we are waiting until you make decision. Some of us are genius. Some of us, some of the foundation, have solution to Nigerian problem that you will not need to pay. You may not even need to pay some of these people, because if we import foreign machineries, Nigerian in diaspora, through our foundation, the money will be cheap, or if not nothing, for you to pay. And then Nigeria will develop. They will come and set up industry because they are Nigerian in diaspora. If we can take charge and fix things, make the economies sustainable for them to come, make the economy accommodating for them to be able to come from the diaspora, even only our foundation will transform the whole 36 states. So don't let me digress too much. So that is what actually happened. Now let's just, within 1 minute, let's go and see how the China developed. You see, strong leadership ties has led to tremendous development in China. Leadership in China means you love your nation, and what make the measurement that they used to measure the success of any leader is how you have removed poor people out of poverty. Not in Nigeria, that how have we make Dangote to become rich? How have we make Nigerian is rich now? No, Nigerian is not rich. Go to Lekki, you will see big house. So that is how Nigerian rich is. They don't say go to Ajegunle, go to Sangwater, go to Osun State, you will see poor people that Nigerian have helped out of poverty. So Nigerian is rich now. Why did you say Nigeria is rich? Go to Abuja, all those estates, you will see big house. You will see people with private jet. That Nigerian is rich now, private jet is increasing. But China, the leaders determine that they will measure their success by how many Jack Ma in China, how many Jack Ma how Jack Ma riches in China is not how Jack Ma from 20 billion US dollar become 40 billion within 1 year. Riches in China simply means how the ordinary people that are selling okra, pineapple, orange, akara, beans, how the person selling akara be able to begin to sell groundnut oil, beans within my leadership. How the poor people get out of poverty, not how the rich people become super rich, not how the system favor only 2%. This is the secret of China. So the love of your nation is what also why the China become very rich. China become rich because before you go into the governor or the leadership person, you for 15-20 years you must have started to invest in the society. You must have to invest. For instance, if you want to become governor, you must have affect nothing less than 20 local government. If you have 30 to 40 local government, your impact must have been into 20 local government. So it is meritocracy that China is operating. What have you done for the past 50-40 years? Not like Nigeria, that somebody immediately fail election, he go to USA, go and enjoy himself. We continue to shout, hey, he has gone to USA, oh, you people are useless, oh, you people have rigged, the person who fail have gone to USA, because you people did not take him as power. He will come back when it is 1 year or 6 months to another election. What have you done? That is how China. What have you been doing? That is why my brother Bolaji is just like the best. But because he is doing things 4 5 years ago, 6 7 years ago. So another thing that make China economies. So we are just talking about how to help God, how to help God, how to help Jesus Christ. You will see how we will digress. Remember, I said 2 benefits of helping Jesus Christ is number 1, prayer answering. We will now go and settle down and see how it works. Another thing is free market. Free market. Free market in China does not mean free market that we know. Free market simply means a capitalist system, a free mixed economies where socialism and capitalism operate together. No, that is not free market to Chinese. Oh. Free market simply means we are pushing everybody into the market. We are pushing every poor people into the market. You must sell something in the market or you must buy something. You must buy and resell. You must invest and reinvest. You must do all those things. That is what leads to China. So anybody whose business is break, like in Nigeria, that I think the president are actually proud in Nigeria that a lot of businesses fail. A lot of poor people are driven out of market. A lot of poor people does not have money to pay Okada. A lot of poor people does not have even money to buy things. A lot of people selling akara, donut, plantain chips, pure water. Their business have closed down completely. That is what. But in China, it is those people business that the leader focus. How will this business turn to great things? That is what developed China. That is what is meant by free market in China. So we are pushing people into this free market. That is what that word means in China. How did we release money? Another thing that developed Chinese economies, this is the last thing that I will say because of time, because we are going into that topic, is research and development. Research and development, especially in rural community, research and development. So Chinese believe so strongly that if university, colleges, all those people do conduct research, when they conduct research, let us now use this research. Each of the research of China, of an average China, is a developmental project to the community. It's community development project. Nobody research is just abandoned in his thesis in his project supervisor room, in his project supervisor cave, in his project supervisor dustbin trash. Nobody project. This is why everybody is rushing to USA. The same thing with USA. Similar thing in USA. USA own is even humanistic. USA, you are not allowed to do some things to open church if you are not giving back to the poor people 50% at least. Not like Nigerian that church in the village. This thing used to want to make me cry, but it's just so sad. Church in the village, church in all those people will be sending 100% of money straight to the headquarters, to the big man that is sitting in Lagos, so that the big man can build more university that poor people, that only senator children can go. Only senator and prime and the senator and maybe the president children can go. So they are the people from the village. They are told that if you do not pay tithe, you are going to hellfire. If you do not pay tithe, everything will spoil. So they are bringing everything. So and no percent. Oh Jesus Christ! No percent is given to these poor people that when given to the pastor. Ask any pastor, pastors of the big church. No percent is given to them that when poor people cry, come. Use this one to help them. No percent is given to them. No percent. 100% is going to the headquarters. Straight to the headquarters. So the big man laugh. Wow, we are building another university. There is water, there is free light. There is if you are poor, they will dictate it from when you were filling the form and throw you out and kick you out. In fact, if your father is a pastor, a senior pastor, and the big man know that your father's income does not reach to pay the school fees, they will kick you out instead of helping you. This is the system in Nigeria. So research and development. Research. So this is what. So now let's go. We are going to now settle down and read one verse vividly. But let's know that anybody who see God is changing to the same image. From glory to glory. If you have seen God, you have changed into the same image from glory to glory. Say, for we all, with unveiled faces, with open faces, with unclosed faces, Beholding as in a glass the glory of the Lord, are changed into the same image from glory to glory. He said, not as Moses that put cloud that you must go to church, you must go to mountain, that you must pay tithe, you must pay offering. But now you just need to behold the glory of the Lord, and you are changed from glory to glory. From glory to glory is changing me. Changing me, Jehovah changing me. From image to image is perfecting me. The joy of God shows in my life is changing from heavenly things to the heavenlies. His image, His likeness is perfecting me. The joy of God shows to my life. So when you see God, which is poor people, when you see God simply means when you help poor people. Helping could also mean just shaking, just hugging, just smiling to them, just this little thing like that. We are going to see some of it today. From glory to glory, you begin to change. Solution begin to come to your head. Now, let us go and see. We first want to see prayer answering. Prayer answering. Before we go to the wisdom of God. Looking unto Jesus, the author and the finisher of our faith, who, for the joy that was set before him, endured the cross. Now, let's read that verse. Looking unto Jesus. A verse said we should be looking unto Jesus, and we have established that we look unto the poor. We look unto the poor to help them. That is the meaning of looking unto Jesus. So let's go ahead and see that verse very, very well. Hebrews chapter 12. Wherefore seeing we, Hebrews chapter 12, I start from verse 1. Wherefore seeing we also are compassed about with so great a cloud of witness, let us lay aside every weight and the sin which do so easily beset us. Beset us means separate us from our fellow people. Any sin that does not make you to love. Remember, when we are talking about sin, we are talking about you loving poor people. Because if you love poor people, the only sin in the New Testament means if you hate people. Because if you love poor people, you will not thief, you will not commit adultery. Refer to our last message. We have done justice to that very, very well about what is sin in the New Testament. You will not steal, you will not sleep uselessly, you will not drink ogogoro, all those things, and sleep uselessly when you love God. Yesterday I wanted to sleep, but because of love is lacking in my country, I wake up and prepare for this message. Verse 2, looking unto Jesus. So we are looking unto Jesus, the author and the finisher of our faith. When you look unto God, when you start to help people, he will begin new mission, the author. He will begin new, he will send you the assignment, the author. And the finisher, he will complete it for you. For faithful is he who have sent you, who also will do it. Faithful is he who have sent you, who also will do it. Looking unto Jesus, and we have established that Jesus is poor people. Looking unto Jesus, the author and the finisher of my faith. Akanam kwem. Akanam kopkem. Imametiedentima basi. Looking unto Jesus, the author and the finisher of our faith, who for the joy that was set before him endured the cross. Helping poor people, it will be like cross. So you will endure the cross because of the joy, because of heaven that you want to enter, because of the good thing that you will benefit here on earth. We are going to see it. Endure the cross despite the shame. He was in the class of God. He came down because of me, because of you, because of poor people. He endured the cross and sit down. For consider him and sit in the Father's throne. At the end, he sat in the Father's throne. At the end, he sat in the Father's throne because he endured the cross. The cross is helping poor people. Remember, anytime Jesus Christ talking anything, poor people is in the heart of God. Endure the cross. So now, I'd like you to know, even Jesus, even God the Father, nobody know him until he start helping poor people. Nobody resonate with him until he start helping poor people. Romans chapter 1 verse 17. Romans chapter 1 verse 17. Nobody know Jesus Christ. Nobody know God. He was irrelevant until he start to help poor people. Romans chapter 1 verse 17. Let's see. Okay, verse 20. Romans chapter 1 verse 20. Let's see how until God begin to create people that are inferior to him, until God begin to create people that are less than him, until God begin to help poor people to create them so that they too can fulfill destiny. Nobody know him. Let's see Romans chapter 1 verse 20. He said, for the invisible things of him from the creation of the world are clearly seen, being understood by the things that he made. Invisible things of God is clearly seen, being understood by the things that he has made. Because of human being, that is why we even know that there is something called God. That's why you even have people to worship him. You will be useless, you will be irrelevant. Call me anywhere until you start to help poor people, until you start to see God, until you start to see God. Let's continue the verse. Let's read the verse. Even his eternal power and Godhead, so that they are without excuse. Let's take that verse again. For the invisible things of him from the creation of the world are clearly seen, being understood by the things that he made. Invisible. The world was invisible. Everything was invisible. And it had no irrelevant. Everything was invisible. Even God was irrelevant. Even God was not to be reckoned with until he start to create people that are less inferior. Until he start to help. Until he start to say, let there be light. Until you and I start to be creative. And that is why one of the first advantage that we see of loving God will be wisdom. Remember, in fact, let me tell you one thing. Before we go into the advantage, let me tell you one thing. God himself, you and I are God, but we will become useless because we did not help poor people. We will become useless because we did not consider poor people. Psalm chapter 82. He said, God stand in the congregation of the gods and judge among gods. For how long will you judge unjustly and ignore the place of God? And ignore the place. He said that God stand in the congregation of the mighty. He judge among gods. For how long will you judge unjustly and ignore the place? He said, I have said, you are God, and all of you are the children of the Most High God. But you will be useless because you did not consider the poor. You will be useless. He said, God stand in the congregation of the mighty. He judges among gods. So all this God was judging among gods. So we are like the God. He said, how long will you judge unjustly and accept the person of the wicked? Defend the poor and the fatherless. Do justice to the afflicted and the needy. Verse 4. Deliver the poor and the needy. Rid them out of the hands of the wicked. They know not, neither will they understand. They walk on in darkness. All the foundation of the other house will shake. Anytime that you abandon the poor and the needy, whether you are God, your foundation will shake it. That is why Nigeria is shaking seriously. I have said, you are God. All of you that are the children of Moses, but you will die. Verse 7 said, verse 7 said, but you shall die like men and fall like one of the princes. You shall die like men and fall like one of the princes. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go and see the first advantage of helping poor people. Remember, he said, I called Abraham alone. I called him alone. So God does not call plenty people. God only called just one person. He said, look unto the rock, look unto the Father. Isaiah chapter 51. He said, for I called Abraham alone, and I blessed him, I make him the father of all nations. So anybody that God called, God will make him the father of all nations. That's why we call only Bill Gates. And today the Bill Gates name is reckoned. Bill Gates considered the poor people. He called Henry Ford. He called all those people. He called them for them to consider poor people so that their life, so that poor people's life would change. Now let's go ahead and begin to see something very, very, very interesting. The wisdom of God. The first thing that we benefit from helping God is the wisdom of God. In the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 1 verse 20, he said, 1 Corinthians chapter 1 verse 20. 1 Corinthians chapter 1 verse 20, he said, Christ is the wisdom of God and the power of God. 1 Corinthians chapter 1 verse 20. He said, Christ, the wisdom of God and the power of God. 1 Corinthians 1:20. He said, Where is the wise? Where is the script? Had not God? Let's see 2 Corinthians 1, 2 Corinthians 1:20. Let's see 2 Corinthians 1:20. For 24. 1 Corinthians 1:24. Sorry. 1 Corinthians 1:24. Pardon. 1 Corinthians. But unto them which are called both Jews and Greek, Christ the power of God and the wisdom of God. Unto them which are called both Jews and Greek, Christ the power, the wisdom of God and the power of God. So Christ is actually the wisdom of God and the power of God. So Christ is the wisdom of God and the power of God. So what does wisdom do? Proverbs chapter 8 verse 12. He said, for I, wisdom, dwell with the prudent and find out knowledge of witty invention. So the knowledge of God must be with witty invention. Proverbs chapter 8 verse 12. I, wisdom, I dwell with prudent. Prudent means caring. Prudent means care. Using sense to do something. And if you want to do things calculatively, you should be helping the poor. You should include poor people in your program. Prudence means care, using care for there not to be error, for there not to be fail. So using care means don't take money, don't pack everything to the church. Of course you need to give them, but don't pack everything to the church. So let's go and read that proverb. That Proverb chapter 12. Proverbs chapter 8 verse 12. Let's go ahead and read that Proverbs chapter 8 verse 12. Remember, I'm talking about seeing God. What are the advantages of seeing God? Proverbs chapter 8 verse 12. I, wisdom, dwell with prudence and find out knowledge of witty invention. So there will be witty invention. That is why Bill Gates, because Bill Gates sat down and said that, this computer have numerous advantages that I see in my father's house. How come my poor friends, they don't have? My poor friends don't have all those things. I will try and do everything for this computer. I will invent Microsoft chips so that this computer will be in the house of poor people. Today, almost everybody in the world, 70% of the population of the world have phone, have laptop. That is computer. That is Bill Gates, because one person considered the poor, one person considered the weak. He invented things. Remember, Nick went to somewhere in India and he saw people without shoe. And he do shoe. Today, Nick is like the number 32 richest people in the whole world. Somebody who invented only shoe because of poor people. Remember Etsy, Amazon, Shopify, all those store was made so that poor people will also be integrated. So that poor people will have means of getting money. Online stuff. The whole essence of online, what give birth to the information era, what give birth to the technological era, is actually cycled around helping poor people. Remember what Henry Ford said? Henry Ford said he want motor to be in every family. He want at least one motor to be in every family. Today the dream is start becoming realistic. Almost every family, at least you can afford, like you can enter motor if you don't have the private motor. If you don't have private motor, at least you can afford the transport to enter motor. Thanks to Henry Ford. The whole excess of the technological and information age is centered around helping poor people. Inventions, all the old inventions is cycled around helping poor people. That is why, that is why if you want to prosper in technological age, in information age, you must focus on helping poor people, on caring for the poor people. If you really want to prosper in this our age, you must focus on helping poor people and considering the poor. For instance, the business of the 21st century is network marketing. So if you help poor people, if you focus on helping poor people more, the business will grow. But remember, FSG now help us such that the network marketing is not only network marketing. You integrate digital marketing with network marketing, thereby making the business super perfect. So millionaires are raising the business. FAG, Faith Heroic Generation is Nigeria and is raising millionaires because of poor people, because the era of information and the era of technology. In fact, wealth in this our era simply means to create welfare, according to Carlos Slim. Carlos Slim said wealth, to his own definition, means to create welfare to other people. Ladies and gentlemen, that is, you will be creative, you will be inventive, you will be innovative when you consider the poor. Let's go to the second advantage of helping the poor. Please, ladies and gentlemen, try and persevere. Let's look at the second advantage of helping the poor. Your prayer will be answered because your faith, you will have great faith. You will have great faith and your prayer will be answered. You will have great faith and your prayer will be answered. Matthew chapter 8, another advantage of helping poor people. Remember, we say poor people are in Nigeria. You should help them. The number one requirement of the Bible is for you and I to be helping poor people because they are surplus and we should help them. Now, the question now is, what are the advantages? Your faith will develop when you are helping poor people, and then prayer will be answered. You have developed faith. Matthew chapter 8, your faith will develop and then your prayer will answer. Those two things, we are going to see how those two things happen. Matthew chapter 8, from verse what? From verse 5. Matthew chapter 8. And when Jesus entered into Capernaum, there came unto him a centurion, beseeching him and saying, Lord, my servant lieth at home sick of the palsy, grievously tormented. Let's start from this thing. Okay, let's just read. And Jesus said unto him, I will come and heal him. The centurion answered and said, Lord, I am not worthy that thou shouldest come unto my roof, but speak the word only, and my servant shall be healed. For I am under a man under authority, having soldier under me. And I say to this, go, and he go. And I say to this, come, and he come. And I say to this, my servant, do this, and he do this. And when Jesus heard it, he marveled and said to them that have followed him, Verily I say unto you, I have not found so great faith, no, not in Israel. But I say unto you, that many shall come from the east and the west, and shall sit down with Abraham and Isaac and Jacob in the kingdom of heaven. But the children of the kingdom shall be cast out into outer darkness. There shall be wailing and gnashing of teeth. We are going to go and analyze this Bible little by little. You see that this verse of Bible that they are using to collect tithe and offering, make people to come and work and all those things, there is a great light of helping poor people, of seeing Jesus Christ in it. Let's start analysis now. And when Jesus was entered into a Capernaum, there came unto him a centurion beseeching him. He's begging him for something. A centurion means somebody who have battalions of army, like what we will call CEO of barrack today. That is a centurion. Somebody who have battalion of soldiers. That is a centurion. He came beseeching him. A CEO of a barrack, this commanding officer of a barrack, came beseeching him. Now what was he asking him? And saying, Lord, my servant lieth at home, sick of palsy, grievous, tormented. His servant lied at home. Like private soldier is crying. Private soldier is being tormented. Private soldier is crying. Private soldier is being tormented. A CEO of a barrack went to look for solution to him. Now my father was a soldier, so I spent my first 23 years in the barracks. I spent my first 23 years in the barrack. So I know what a CEO means. Now, even a couple cannot go and help a private, my servant. You cannot go and help a private soldier. Even a sergeant cannot help a couple because you are bringing yourself low by you. Officers will let alone officers. In fact, officers have their canteen. They have their MRS different from the other rank canteen. They have where to cure their sick people different from other rank canteen. Different from other rank. Other rank mean all these private soldier. All these private soldier, corporal, sergeant, staff sergeant, all those people. Their own MRS. That is sick people, hospital for soldiers. Especially for soldiers, they call it MRS. So now, but this man, in fact, there is no way for even an officer, let alone a commanding officer. This man is a commanding officer. It was like CEO. He said a certain man that command a centurion came to Jesus and said, my servant is ill. So if you have money, the money is to serve poor people. If you have power, because if the poor person, if one of the private soldier came, nobody would have allowed him to see Jesus Christ. But because the big man come to go and help his servant, he was able to have access to Jesus Christ. And he was able to tell Jesus Christ, my servant, my poorest among poor servants, is sick, relating to that verse of the Bible, which is saying, as much as you have done this to the poorest among the poor, in as much as you have done this to the least, you have done it for me. In as much as you have given the least poor people food, you have done it for me. Let's continue. and saying, Lord, my servant lie at home, sick of palsy, grievously tormented. Palsy is poor man sickness. And Jesus said unto him, I will come and heal him. Jesus said unto him, I will come and heal him. The man answered, a centurion man said, the centurion answered and said, I am not worthy that thou shouldest come unto my roof. The man is personalizing poor man problem. Raposakatalodododo. Menye dika kipai no mo evunodobo kai kai kai. Menye dika kipai no mo evunodobo kai kai kai. Jesus ete ki mo ye kipai no mo. Baba mi ete Jesus ete ki mo ye kipai no mo. The CEO of a barrack is personalizing poor man problem, a private soldier problem. He said, I am not worried that. So the CEO went to the other rank and said, bring the man to his house so that Jesus Christ will have access, so that the maybe crowd will not press Jesus Christ so much. Because in the officer canteen, there is control. You don't do anything anyhow. You don't even walk on the street anyhow in officer canteen. You don't walk on the street anyhow. Let's continue. So he said, the centurion man answered, I said, Lord, I am not worthy that thou shouldest come under my roof, but speak the word only, and my servant shall be healed. Speak the word only, and my servant shall be healed. For I am a man under authority. I am a man under authority, having soldiers under me. I have plenty of them under me, yet one of the least sick. And I take it personal. It touches me. It is human being. He have the image and the likeness of God in him. So it is Jesus Christ that's sick. He touches me when one of them sick. You remember that this was what made Moses to begin to kill the people of Israel. Moses discovered that they are being oppressing some people are oppressing his people, the people that he loved. Jesus Christ in the image of people. Moses realized that some poor people are being oppressed, not knowing that he began to kill them. He began to kill his people who are oppressing those poor people. He did not join the commanding officer to be doing evil, to be oppressing the poor people. So let's continue. Speak the word only, and my servant will be healed. For I am a man under authority, having soldiers under me. And I say to this man, go, and he goes. And to another, come, and he comes. I am like God, yet I come down to help this poor man. I said to this one, go, and he go. I said to this one, come, and he come. And I tell my servant, do this, and none of them refuse me. Yet I can still come down and put myself in their shoe, in my servant's shoe when they are sick. My servant is sick of palsy. Remember, Jesus Christ saying, as much as you visit me in the hospital, you will enter heaven. Let's continue. Do this, and he do it. When Jesus Christ had this thing, Jesus Christ said unto him, verily I say unto you, I have not found so great faith. So that is why we say that when you help poor people, your faith will be great. Now the greatness of this your faith will lead to prayer answering. I have not seen so great faith, not even in Israel. Not in Israel. Israel were like born again people. Unbelievers are better than, and that was where that my message come from. Why unbelievers will make heaven and Christians may not make heaven. I did that series, 4 series. Why unbelievers will make heaven. This was the major verse that I used, but this verse now become relevant again when we are saying that we saw God. We have seen God in Nigeria. That is the title of this message in March. We have seen God in Nigeria. This verse now become highly relevant. He said, and I say unto you that many shall come from the east and the west and shall sit with Abraham and Isaac. Remember when we were talking about Abraham sitting with Abraham, Lazarus sitting in Abraham's heaven. Many will come and enter heaven, and Jacob in the kingdom of heaven. But the children of the kingdom shall be cast out unto the outer darkness. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth. This is talking about pure Nigerian Christian, pure Nigerian born again. The people of the kingdom will be cast out into outer darkness. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth. Tell me how many Nigerians today can go into somebody's house and collect water and drink, let alone them giving you. Everybody is now winch. Everybody now belong to society. Everybody wake up, and if you see bird cry, cat cries, witchcraft, cut in shake, you pray for father and die. Your enemy, your neighbor will be sick. You see a lot of testimonies. I will compile those testimonies and play it one day. How people are happy that my neighbor is sick, he will die. My neighbor is sick, God let him die. My neighbor is sick, my neighbor have accident, God don't let him come back from hospital. People are giving testimony in church because one pastor told them that they are witchcraft. It is that pastor that is winch. It is that pastor that need deliverance. It is that pastor that need the demon to be cast out of him, because love is the greatest thing. In fact, last week Sunday I established from the book of Matthew chapter 5 from verse 43 that even when the person is winch, even when the person is your enemy, the Bible said love him. For if we love only those who care for us, only those who are our friend, what is the benefit? It's not even the public can do the same. So we saw this man do this. This man do this. So, but the children of the kingdom shall be cast out unto utter darkness. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth. And Jesus said unto the centurion, Go thy way, and as thou hast believed, so be it done unto you. And his servant was healed in that same hour. His servant, that is why we say, if you help Jesus Christ, the poorest, your prayer will be answered. His servant was healed. The man have now a solution to solve all his problem, because he just need Jesus Christ's word, and Jesus Christ is speaking to you that if you help the poor, you enter heaven. If you help the poor, your problem will be. If you help the poor, you have the wisdom of God for witty invention for you to become among the richest in the world. But today, who are we helping? It's people who are not even God. Who are not even God. Matthew chapter, as we begin to bring this message to an end, Matthew chapter 7. Matthew chapter 7. By their fruit we shall know them. Verse 20. Matthew chapter 7 verse 20. By their fruit shall know them. Not everyone that say unto me, Lord, Lord, shall enter into the kingdom of heaven, but he that doeth the will of the Father. Many shall say unto me, Lord, Lord, have we not prophesied in thy name, and in thy name have we cast out devils? And we have prophesied. You remember who is the greatest man of God in Nigeria today? Not the poor. Not the poor, not the poor, it's Jesus Christ. The poor is the people who can prophesy. The poor people who can cast out devil. Lord, Lord, have we not prophesied in thy name? And in thy name have we cast out devil? And in thy name do many wonders. Oh, if you can trick people and do wonders, not even the correct wonders. Let's even say you do correct wonders. Let's just say, I will forsake. They will forsake them. Just can say evil and viper generation, you seek unto miracle, and that is what all the Nigerians are seeking unto. Only miracle. Only you will prosper. You have breakthrough. You will never ever beg. Sun will never ever come out. Only breeze will be blowing you. Those are the kind of things they are seeking. Miracle. They are seeking where, and that is why Nigeria spoils so much, because we are abandoning God. The story of the Good Samaritan. That priest, even the whole priest, make that mistake. Even the church member said it's better than the priest. The church member even saw the man and even thought of and even think of it. He said he saw the man and have compassion on him, but he's rushing to church. But the priest does not even look at the man that armed robber beat on the road self. So let's go. He said, many shall say unto me, I will do wonders. Then will I profess unto them, I never knew you. Depart from me, you that walk iniquity. You that walk iniquity. What is the meaning of iniquity? You see yourself higher than poor people. What is the meaning of iniquity? So the whole sin. So the opposite of iniquity in the Bible simply means you that walk equity. You that have food to eat and give to the poor. You that walk equity. You that have food to eat and give to the poor. You that embraces the poor. You that don't see yourself superior to another poor person. That is the meaning of, that is the opposite of iniquity. He said, I will tell them. That's why the fact that you do all these miracles. That's why the fact that you will prophesy, you heal the sick. That's why that you do all these things. I will tell you on the last day, depart from me. You cast into everlasting fire. You that walk in iniquity. What is the meaning of inequity then? Inequity means inequality. injustice. You are judging injustice. You feel that you are the only one who know God, so you are the only one who should enjoy, because they did not pay tithe, they should suffer. But God even said that we should love our enemy, we should do good to them. You claim that you are the one who discovered the secret of prosperity. You are the one who went to fast and everything become good for you, because they do not fast, they do not work hard, they should suffer till death. But this is not true. This is not true, ladies and gentlemen. This is not true. This is not true. So then, what is the greatest thing to enter heaven? What is the greatest requirement to enter heaven then? He said, the gift of prophecy, the gift of this. But now I show you more excellent gift. Though we heal the sick, though we do this, and we do not have love, it profits us nothing. 1 Corinthians chapter 1, chapter 13. First, from verse 12, it tells us, from verse 12 to 31, it tells us, the 1 Corinthians 12, 31, it tells us that you prophesy, you do this, you do. All those things are nothing in the sight of God. But now I will show you a more excellent spirit, which is love. For though I prophesy, though I cast out, though I speak and mount a move, though I do everything, and I have no charity, I do not care for my neighbor, it profit me nothing. It profit me nothing. Iniquity in that verse of Bible. Let's go ahead and conclude. Remember where we started. I will conclude here now. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. Remember where we started, that God started in the Provision of 90. He judged among gods. He said, how come you judge unjustly? Defend the poor and the fatherless. So unjustly, the iniquity that God is saying that I will cast all those people who kill, who do this in Matthew chapter 7 verse 21. I will cast them out, who do plenty miracles, because they walk in iniquity. They did not consider human being equal. They did not love people. They did not stop doing wrong things that will relegate another person, that will bring another person down. Jesus Christ said, iniquity is found in them, because there is no love. And then when there is no love, you will offend people, you will steal from people, you will rape people, you will rob people, you will do everything. You will not consider the human being. It's so sad what I heard yesterday, that the son of the big men of God, they are still collecting prophetic offering. The people, Nigerian mind is so bastardized such that people will leave the poor people, still take money to somebody father who have 4 or 5 private jets. I heard the testimony, I almost want to cry. His father have 7 universities. 7 universities, that if you have only one, your entire generation can. So his father have 7. And a lot, the son is saying that he collected prophetic offering from 5 people. He collected 50 cars. The son of the one that father have 4 private jets. This, that. Yet they have deceived people so much, so that you only take to the man of God for you to connect to higher anointing. But Jesus Christ is the greatest anointing. If you want to give to somebody to get the anointing, if you want to give to people to connect to the highest anointing, you want to connect to the highest anointing, Rabbi. So no pastor in Nigeria, and then Jesus Christ is the anointing himself. To give to Jesus Christ, how can you give to Jesus Christ then? I was poor and you helped me. I was sick and you came and visited me to remove me. I was in prison. Oh, you come foundation. God will bless you. God will bless you. Mokobuyo atokudi uyo abankedi. He said, because you judge unjustly, because you did not consider the poor and the fatherless and this, the head will begin to shake. The head will begin to quake. The head will begin to. That is why Nigerian is unbearable, because nothing concerns anybody with the poor. In fact, Christian, I am scared if I have power. In fact, if I cannot help Nigerian, I will try to run out, because things will become extremely worse. Especially when the headquarters of wickedness is in the church. The last place that people are supposed to run to, the last place to suck resources, but because they are taking everything to the headquarters, so the big man now his children are like football. His children are fat, or his children are just living high, whereas the poor people are begging. Feudalism system of government self is even higher in the church than this. No connectivity between the poor. So the big man children cannot even sit down with the poorest. If you sit down, what is the purpose of sitting down when you cannot help them? You know, Nigeria is so funny. They will say that the big man said, shake me. Why is the person shaking? If it's only prayer that I can pray for you. If you cannot put hand in socket, give you 1,000 naira, give you 500 naira. What is the purpose of the shaking? So, ladies and gentlemen, let us all try to love God. Let us all try to help Jesus Christ. I remain your lovely friend, Oyekanoluwole Basi. Please subscribe to this YouTube channel if you want to hear something like this. This video is dedicated to Oyekan Bolaji. Love you so much. Thanks. Bye for now. I remain your lovely host, Oyekanoluwole Basi.